So today we're going to talk about why do you do what you do? It's a big question. And chances are, if you're watching this channel, it's all related to your calling, or at least it should be. Hi, I'm Africa Archield, and today we're going to talk about making sure that your goals are aligned with your calling, or as you may have heard it, your big why. The first thing I want you to do is grab a journal, some paper, grab your phone, make sure it's on the notes section. So if you need to, pause the video right now and go ahead and do that. All right, so my assumption is you have something to take notes with. You're gonna want to really memorialize this somewhere because you're gonna come back to it often. We're essentially gonna create your compass, your North Star, so you don't get off track. Now, can this evolve over time? Of course it can. And I really encourage you to come back and revisit this video at least quarterly, okay? So let's get moving. So the first question is, why do you want to do what you want to do? And it sounds maybe a little daunting, and if you didn't watch my video from last week, you might want to pause the video and jump over and watch it. I'll put something up in the video card so that you can. But why do you want to do what you want to do? This is that big why question. And I want you to write down something that's going to be really big and scary, and you have no idea how you're going to make it happen. Because, spoiler alert, it's not up to you to know how you're going to make it happen. But it's up to you to have a vision. So when you answer this question, I want you to answer it with the biggest vision in relation to your calling as you can. So think big. I mean really big. Think universal, right? Think worldwide. Think really, really big. Something that you can't even fathom how on earth it could happen. That is what I want you to write down. Pause the video, jot it on down. Okay, so now you've jotted down that really big, audacious thing that you want to see come into fruition. Whatever it is, and make sure that has something to do with your calling. Now, I haven't really talked about how to figure out what your calling is in this video. I'll probably do another video on that another time. But my assumption is you know the calling that's on your heart, or at least you have a feel for it, right? And so as you wrote that down, it's going to be in alignment with that, right? So now it's big and it seems a little crazy. And I want you to take a moment because we're going to revise it, right? I kind of just let you loose with that one. So maybe you wrote down something like, I want the world to have clean air. Beautiful, fresh, clean air everywhere in the world, right? When I say that, I have no earthly idea how to make that happen. But I do know it is something near and dear to me. Now, is it my major calling? No, but I think it's going to give you a wonderfully concrete example. Okay, so moving forward from that, when I say I want you to revise, it means I want you to get a bit more specific. So in my example that I just gave you, what does it mean to have clean air, right? Or when I say the entire world, do I really only mean parts of the world? So I want you to get really generally, as that sounds odd, specific about this. Right? So look at what you wrote down, that something big and huge and audacious. You don't know how you're going to make it happen. And we're going to make it a little bit more specific. So I'm going to review what I wrote about having clean air. And then as I've reviewed it, I might decide to get a little bit more generally specific by saying I would like to reduce greenhouse gases by 50% before 2050. Right? So that is a little bit more specific. I kind of gave myself a little bit more of a goal, a little bit sharper of a vision, right? So first I said, I want to have cleaner air in the world. Next I said, I want to reduce greenhouse gases by 50% by 2050. Can you see how that starts to bring it into coalescence? Can you see how that starts to sharpen what I want to do? And all of a sudden, the thing that seems so abstract, so out there, has become really measurable. Pause the video and get to that little bit more generally specific. Cool, you are back. Now, I've been talking about kind of how to narrow, and I don't want to lose you here. You still at all times need to remain aspirational. You need to remain focused on your calling and how you're bringing it into fruition. We're just making sure everything we do is aligned to it so that you have that focus and you don't get sidetracked by those bright and shiny objects. You don't get sidetracked by when someone says, why don't you do it this way, or why don't you do it that way, or normally we only do this, that, or the other. You already have your focus. You already have your vision, and it is so bold and so amazing. Other people are going to help you with it. I can assure you of that. As you start sharing what you're doing, as you start sharing that big, audacious, generally specific thing that you're bringing to existence, other people are going to help you. Now, I'm going to give you a quick example from a video that I saw online the other day about someone who is creating papercrete. And when you talk about the universe conspiring with you, I thought this is such an amazing way for this to happen. These people had been so bold about what they were doing with this papercrete, and they told everyone in their town, and some of them I assure you thought they were crazy, right? No doubt there are always haters out there. But they told everyone about it. And as fortune would have it, there was a storm that was between two big cities, and this town was between the big cities. And a New York Times truck was coming through, and they couldn't make it to the big city they were supposed to deliver papers to. And it was a huge truckload of papers. And they actually had to pull over in this town and go to a hotel because there was just no way to drive in the storm. And they needed somewhere to offload the papers, and they were talking to the front desk clerk about it. And the front desk clerk said, you could put them over there in the back. I know someone who needs them. And who was it? But these people who were making papercrete. And all of a sudden, they had a truckload of New York Times papers that they could use in their production. It was free. That's what happened. Those things come together when you're super focused on what it is that you were called here to do, what it is you're here to bring to fruition, and you share that big, audacious vision with other people around you. Okay, so let's get going on to what would be the third step. So we've got the big vision, we've made it generally specific, and now there's going to be so much easier to figure out what do I need to do to get there. So now that I've said that, okay, I want to reduce greenhouse emissions by 50% by 2050, and one of the ideas that immediately sprung to mind was to plant 1 billion trees. Right? So that could be in and of itself aspirational, to plant 1 billion trees. How the heck am I going to do that? You know, that's a shovel and that's a lot of saplings, right? So how am I going to, as one individual, plant 1 billion trees? Probably not me as one individual, right? That is getting together a movement. Now, I might come up with several aspirational things I want to do. Planting 1 billion trees might just be one, and I might have 3 to 5 in total. So write all those down. Whatever first springs to mind. This is where you're really starting to use your intuition. This is where you're really starting to be in touch. If you need to pause the video, take a few minutes to meditate, take some deep breaths and clear your mind, you're going to find a lot of things start bubbling up and you just need to jot them down. So at this point, go ahead, pause the video, and then hit play again when you're ready for the next step. Okay, so I take it you probably have 3 to 5 beautiful aspirational goals that match with your big audacious goal, that match with your calling. And you can see how it's all falling into line together, right? This is all about thinking big. This is about really stepping up into and filling out the entire space of your calling. So now we're going to take another dive again. I believe we're at step 4. And we're going to go into that one of those aspirational goals that you have. So I said to plant 1 billion trees. And we both know that's a big goal. That's very aspirational. So how am I going to create a movement around that? How am I going to get people on board with that? Well, one easy thing to do is to start thinking about people who already do that kind of thing, right? Maybe it's an Arbor Society. Maybe it's a Sierra Club. Maybe it's, a local club. Maybe it's certain cities or countries who are really interested in planting trees. Maybe it's getting different industries together to support what you're doing. And all of a sudden now you have certain steps you can take in service to that aspirational goal. So it might not be 3 to 5 things that you write down now. The first time I did this, I ended up writing 25 different things underneath my aspirational goal. So take a moment, pause the video, and go ahead and just let it all out. All right, so I'm so excited that you made it through the process. And now we're at the last step. I believe it is the 5th step, and that's to review. Now we get to really go through and we need to decide what needs to come first. What are the first couple of things that I'm going to tackle? What's something that I can do in the next day? What's something I can do in the next week? What's something I can do in the next month or 3 months? And start kind of moving things around to give yourself a path. But no matter what you do, if it's in that list you wrote, you know where it's leading, right? You know it's leading to that aspirational goal. And you know once you hit that aspirational goal, you know that's leading to your big audacious goal. And then, like I said, coming back and reviewing quarterly so you make sure that you're on track to see if anything has changed, anything new has come through to you to move forward with. This also leaves you the space to act on your intuitive hunches. It's like as you go forward, as you're sharing, other things will come too. Other things that you haven't even thought about, right? They come into view, but now you know whether it's something you should act on, because you'll know if it's on your road to where you need to go, or if it's that bright and shiny object that you just need to ignore. So I am so glad that we've made it here together. I've got more for you because now we know how to line up our goals so they match up with our calling, so they match up with our big audacious goal that we're here to bring into fruition, right? So now we need to learn how to make it happen faster. So I have a video on that, and I'm doing another one. So you're going to want to make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you know when the next video comes out, where we really talk about your goals and making them happen faster by using your own special kind of magic. That's a video that's coming up next. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know that this is the kind of content that you'd love to see on this channel. And also in the comments below, share your big, audacious goal. You know, the one that's big and kind of sort of specific. Let us know. This is a beautiful place to share that goal publicly so that you can start getting help now. Can't wait to see you in the next video. And with that, I say peace, joy, love to you. I put it back the way it was. I put it back the way it was.
Ready to go whenever you are.
Are you filming?
Already, yeah.
Good. I think I'll take one step forward. This could take